Next up, the Spur Corporation, which owns Spur Steak Ranches, Panarottis and John Dory'S, had recently bought RocoMamas. It has a market cap of 3.1 billion rand, a PE ratio of 19 and a dividend yield of 4.8%. So Spur, obviously the Spur brand is pretty solid. People love to sit down there and get affordable ribs and steaks and so on. RocoMamas seems to be pretty exciting. They're pushing that one quite hard. Have you graced RocoMamas yet?
I haven't had a smash burger yet, but I drive past, the queues are there. I think it's a really nice niche that they've moved into there, and it came from a Spur franchisee as well, so he understands their way of doing things, and the synergies look evident early on.
Yeah, we've got one in just next to the office, so we pop in there every now and then on a Friday.
So you guys contributing to the share price?
I guess it's a nice model where you can build your own burger. And then John Dory'S seems to be all right. Panarottis is growing nicely within the pizza wars, because we haven't touched on this yet, but pizza has been a very fast-growing theme amongst these restaurants. Good value for money. You can feed an entire family on some of these pizzas with the thick base and all the cheese and everything. Any more acquisitions coming up? They have sort of missed the boat, following in famous brands' footsteps, getting a slightly more aggressive.
Yeah, look, pizza is huge for them. I mean, that's growing 20% plus a year on the top line. RocoMamas, I think, is going to probably do similar type of figures. But yeah, the big contributor there is Spur, and it's not without challenges at the moment. They really are trying to look after their franchisees. I think that's probably going to be the key focus of management at the moment. They've got the source distribution business that they sell to the franchises. They're having to absorb a lot of the costs there. There's a lot of import price increases coming in there that they can't necessarily pass on to their franchisees. So they're having to do it. And I think where the Spur management has been very good, and remember these guys, Pierre van Tonder and Alan Ambor, have been there for a long time, and they're realizing the tight spot we're going into. So they're doing a lot to keep ahead of it. So to your question, maybe not acquisitive just yet, but we're seeing them box very hard and very smart to be able to maintain market share.
What are your thoughts on the business being fairly resilient in this consumer environment, whereby certain people who would be going to eat at Tasha's decide, no, we can't afford it, let's go to Spur instead?
I think it's a valid argument. They've got the family model that has always got this very sticky demand to it. There's always people with young children looking for a nice place to go and get good quality food. So yes, I think you will see a migration to a degree in that regard. But they've
but
said
their existing clients who are already sort of the medium LSM groups will be under further pressure, and they might be buying down elsewhere.
Look, I think you're going to get a drop off of that, but even the mid has shown itself to be okay. It's the lower end that I'm more worrying about. But they've convinced times are tough, and it's massively competitive. Margins are under pressure, and they're doing things they've never done before. So they're starting to import frozen beef, and they've never ever done that previously. Apparently the garnish on the plates recently is gone. All cost cutting measures in that regard. So yeah, I think they've been quite proactive in that regard, and that looks good to me.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the share price there. It's quite bobbly. It's fairly, it's not very liquid. So it's had a good period from 2012, like we saw with famous brands, but again, tough 2015 and a tough start to 2016. Are you going to be hot on Spur?
Byron, I'm going to back the management here, actually. I think that you've got this price weakness. I think you've got a very stable management team. They're reading the environment well at the moment, and I think that's what you need in this environment. The track record is there. So yeah, I'm going to go hot in this one.
I think I'm going to disagree with you again. I think last time we were on the show together we agreed on everything. Now we're going to disagree. I just think, I don't think the brands are as strong as famous brands, and under this type of environment they may be under a bit more pressure, although I do think RocoMamas is very exciting.